right. ¿Qué onda, my sisters and brothers? Thank you for joining us on the Movement Es Medicina podcast. I'm SuperMarkRock, aka Dr. Mark A. Lopez. Movement Es Medicina is just that, a movimiento, a movement. I am aiming to motivate gente, the people, the community to build healthy habits and rituals by speaking to my gente, my A1s, my hermanas y hermanos, dope, educated individuals, and exploring their active lifestyles in the process by discussing strategies to recognize our dopeness in that process. Speaking of dope educated individuals, I am joined by my brother, mi hermano, Craig Robinson, aka C Rob Goes Hard, aka Running and Golfing, aka the author of 3 books, 3 adult educated individual. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. Thank you.
Man, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Nice
Yes,
intro.
sir.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Got a nice resume when you think about it. Nah,
You do, bro.
say it out loud. It's like, oh, not too bad. Not too
Not
bad.
too bad, man. Not too bad at all. Bad at all.
Oh.
Welcome, my brother. I appreciate you joining me this evening. Let's jump right in, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Looking forward to the discussion. Let's do it.
All right, man. This podcast, brother. This podcast began because of our conversation at our DC satellite office. Setting up
Starbucks.
Topping it up about wellness, life, work, our community, and of course, running at the time,
Yeah.
talking about all things running, man. So we did it. We are here recording, hitting that record button. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate
Absolutely,
you.
man. Long time coming.
Long time coming, brother. Long time coming, man. So
Got my shirt on.
I appreciate that, brother. Movement Es Medicina, man. Movement Es Medicina. All right. So what's your story? See, Rob, brother, what's your story? Who are you? Tell us about See Rob Goes Hard, man.
Man, wow. So let's unpack that. First and foremost, I'm a father of 3 beautiful little girls. You see in the background, Nolan, Nora, Linda, Nevada. First and foremost, I'm a dad. Probably my biggest accomplishments. Thing I'm most proud of is the creation of them. Just beautiful human beings, and I love them dearly. So they're my inspiration for everything that I do, in the center of a lot of things that I do. And then just community and family, I'm all about those things as well. Just, the relationship that we have, and about health and fitness, and just staying strong mentally, physically, spiritually as well. So we talk about these things like all the time, just, that's embedded in me. If I got to just get up and get that workout in, we get those 5 a.m. pings about, oh, look, Mark Lopez finished the workout. But, or some of our other friends just finish their workouts at 5 a.m. And it's like, all right, let me roll out of bed. Let me go ahead and get this done, because somebody's already got the day started getting it in. So, I don't want to be left out. So that accountability, and just being health conscious is also embedded in me. And the other thing I'm probably most passionate about is investing. And that's also at the center of a lot of what I do. I try to educate those about investing, but I am professionally, and by day, I'm a money manager for institutional clients, manage a lot of money. It's a pretty amazing job that I have, and the impact that I can have on my clients and their constituents and the folks that they serve and the mission that they have. I mainly work with not-for-profits, and it's pretty cool to help them, grow their capital so they can deploy it towards their mission. So I'm very mission driven and centered in just helping people. I think that's at the crux of who I am as an individual, whether it's through working with you on Movement Es Medicina, or through my day job investing, and also through my children's books on financial literacy. So, those are probably 3 core facets of my life, and who I am as an individual is just, leaving the world a little bit better than the way that I found it. And that's the words that I live by.
Brother, that's beautiful, man. I mean, that's as you've said, we unpack that CV, that resume, man. We've accomplished some things, man, and that's
Oh, yeah.
you, and, your commitment as a father, brother, and your day-to-day W-2, but also what you're doing for the community, man, for our communities around financial literacy and health, man. I mean, being a health conscious individual, but also you're putting it out to our community, at a young age, not only with your daughter, but also through your book, man. And it's really getting about how to invest, how to manage money early, how to have these conversations early, man. So tell me about your books, brother. Tell me about these books that you're
No, the main thing is exposure, right? I mean, when it comes to like money, folks can sometimes get intimidated. So it's just early exposure. It's not necessarily understanding the concepts at an early age, but just recognizing certain things as it relates to stocks or bonds or real estate or anything that some kind of asset, just getting early exposure, so when you get older, kids like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that in a book that I read that my parents read to me. And it also, what I also find a lot of is the parents or caregivers who read the books to the children learn something as well. So it's
Right.
kind of
Right.
cool to really break down a sometimes intimidating and can be complex topic into these children's books to help people learn. And we put a glossary in the back of the book just to help with some of the terms if the parent isn't familiar with the term. I mean, really the coolest thing, I could tell you, for an example, last week I had coffee with a former colleague, or he's a friend, good friend of mine, and we sat down, and he's like, yeah, I gave him the new book. I said, all right, this is your new book for your son. Check it out. We're both bond nerds, so I have to credit him with the phrase bond nerd. You know, I remember him sending me a video when I first came with my first book, Races the Big Board, and he's reading the book to his son. And I'm like, oh man, I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Great video. And about maybe a year later, he sends me another video, and it's his son reading the book back to him. I mean, so that was like a light bulb for a moment for me as well, because it's like, wait a minute, I'm hitting kids at an age where they're learning how to read. So that was also part of the mission, is animals, recognizing animals, shapes, colors. It's all synonymous with the markets, but also learning those things at the time that children are starting to develop mentally and recognition of animals and shapes and colors and things of that nature, and then learning how to read. So he read the book back to him. Then we have a coffee. He's like, oh yeah, I went on a business trip about 3 weeks ago. And when I went away, I told my son, I said, okay, we're going to start investing. His son's about 8 years old now. We're going to create account for you. We're going to start investing. He was like, I want you to read Races the Big Board, and I want you to pick out 3 stocks. When I come home, we're going to talk about, the book, and then also what 3 stocks you want to pick. So that was like another full circle moment. Like the book is still giving and having those discussions, and even years. So the Races the Big Board came out in 2022. So this is 3 years later, and they're still talking about the book and still utilizing the book to help have meaningful and rich conversations. And like that just was just amazing to hear that story. It just said, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. And I'm
Absolutely.
so glad with the good books, because that was the point. Like his son is evolving. He's evolving. He's finding a way to have a discussion with his son about money.
That's right.
And thinking about money and how to invest. And like, I mean, that just made my entire day or week, whatever. It was just amazing to hear. It's just like, man, my books are really having that kind of impact on families, and it's amazing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Reading them to our nieces, man, and nephews, it's amazing to see them perk up and ask questions. I mean, they're engaged, because it's concept they never heard of. Yes, they're, to your point, they're connecting with the shape, the color of the book, the animals of the book, but then they're clinging on to phrases and terminology that I would say not your average children's book, you know what I'm saying, that they read about on a day-to-day basis. But they're like, tell me what is a picky? Tell me, explain a stock. Yes, you have a glossary to your point, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
catching them and they're asking questions. They're engaged, man. So it's working.
Right.
Absolutely working, bro.
Yeah, the other thing is if they hear something on TV or see something on, whatever, some device, whatever, they're looking at their device or watching a video or something, like they're like, oh, that's what they make the connection, right?
Right.
And it's constantly making a connection. Like I remember, that's the thing. I remember reading that book when I was a kid, and like, so it's not foreign to them because they've seen it, right?
Yeah.
As a young child. And it's just that early exposure will just help with the future of that child. And even with the parents, I know another friend of mine reading the book, it's just like, oh, I never knew what bull stood for. Like, okay, green, and then red. That means the market is down. Like the S&P is up today because of bull won the race. And then it's just wild just to see that that exposure, and just the light bulb going off for not only children but for parents as well and caregivers.
Parents as well.
So, or just not even just aunties and uncles. It's a book for everybody, honestly.
right.
And it's the coolest part is just having families sit around and read the book. I'll give you another quick story about the book. I was doing an author event last year, and I'm setting up my booth and everything, getting my books out. And there's another author. She walks in, and her booth is right across from mine. And she looks, and she's like, "I've seen that book before." And I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, no, I've seen that. Wait a minute, I got pictures." So she proceeds to pull out her phone, and she's like swiping, and she shows me the pictures of her reading a book to a baby, and like these people standing around her while she's reading the book. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so like this is the point. I'm bringing people together, bringing families together, having conversations about this." She was like, "I learned so much just from this short book," and it just sparked the intellectual curiosity. It's like, I'm ready to open up a brokerage account or start investing,
Wow.
things like that. So it was
Okay.
so cool to see and hear a story like that, and like someone just recognizing my book, randomly at an author event. So anyway, I feel like I'm having impact.
You are, bro. You are, without question.
So it's such amazing and so cool to see. And I'm really glad that I did these books, and we'll just continue writing, getting
Us
that
too,
creative
bro.
energy out.
That's right. That's right, man. Us too, man. I mean, you definitely have an impact, man, and on our family, our little people in our lives, man, in our community, our village as well, who are into the book. You have what are the books? What are their names, by the way? What are the book names for that for our viewers?
Yeah. So the first book is, oh, I disappeared. Where am
Yes.
I? No.
It's all right. It's all right.
All right, yeah, Bull and Bear Race at the Big Board is the first book.
Okay.
Second book is, well, it disappeared again. Bull and Bear Learn Piggy Bank's Golden Rule. So this book is more about saving, and basically Bear's saving up for a bike, doesn't have enough money. So he does all these odd jobs. He saves up enough money to buy the red bike. But at the same token, not only is he making money, he's working and saving, but he's also giving back. So it's pretty cool just showing that concept. So that's part of the golden rule. When you earn $1, you break $1 into saving, investing, and giving to. And then the last book, which comes out in another month,
All right,
is Bull and Bear Build Bright Futures with Bonds. So earlier I pointed out that I'm a bond nerd. So I had to write a book about bonds. That's one of my favorite topics. But a lot of people don't understand bonds and how they work, and the value that bonds bring to an overall portfolio and asset allocation as a diversifier. But not only that, bonds help finance infrastructure. So things that you see, things that you utilize on a day-to-day basis, like a road or a park or a school or a hospital or a bridge or a tunnel, all these things are financed by bonds, particularly state and local governments use municipal bonds to finance these projects. So this book is just my love letter to bonds through a children's book, and just kind of educating people on the value of adding bonds to your portfolio from a diversification perspective, but also that you're buying bonds to help impact your community by loaning these funds to the issuer of the bonds to build a community project. So pretty excited about that. For that book to be released.
Congrats, man.
I think it's well done, I think. Took me about a year to write it, but I got there.
Yeah, you did.
A lot of drafts, a lot of revisions, but try to take a very complex topic and break it down to make it make sense to not only children, but also the caregivers who are reading to them. So I'm excited to put it out to the world, and hopefully it's well received, and we'll go from there. We got a couple more books in the works. I'll do more, there's a lot more to talk about, and just continue to have impact and have those stories come back to me, and the conversations that parents and caregivers have with their children and their loved ones. I think is, just warms my heart to keep hearing these stories.
So, man. Well, man, not to be more, man. You're doing the damn thing, brother. Keep it up, man.
Appreciate it.
Like those little folks' lives, man, like you are, bro. You educate them, man. It is, bro. It is. And you mentioned, man, that, your colleague, his son, reading back to him, and that influence, and not only around the grasping of the concept and helping them read, but also helping educate, other family members and building those healthy habits, right? Around financial literacy, around reading. that brings me to a point, man. A few months back, we had the opportunity to support my niece, your oldest baby, man. She ran her first 5K, girls on the
Oh, the
run.
straight enough. Yeah, the girls on the right. Yeah,
Ran
that
her
was
first
amazing. I
5K.
appreciate
That
y'all
was
coming down for that too. Yeah.
absolutely.
Uh,
What did
first
that mean for you,
5K.
man? What did that mean for you, brother? What did that mean for you?
So, so I used to run with her in a jogging stroller all the time, and we did a race. It wasn't girls on the run race. That was your first. Didn't you do your first race was girls on the run?
Girls on the run, yeah.
But I'm trying to remember what race it was. We did some 5K together, and she was in a stroller. So it's like full circle to go from, pushing her around in a stroller in a 5K race to running her first 5K around DC. So that was pretty cool. She digs it. She likes running. Kudos to girls on the run for how they empower
Shout out to them.
young
That's right.
girls. Yeah, to incorporate healthy habits into their life. I think it's amazing. She's always trying to hop on my treadmill now and go for runs and things like that. So I think, we're just trying to again, early age, early adoption, early exposure to build healthy habits and healthy lifestyles that'll carry her, for the rest of her life. I mean, we're getting up. We're not old. We're not getting up there, but we're at it, man. And I want to be that 70, 80-year-old guy just out there getting it, just trying to do a couple of 5Ks or whatever, and just running and just keeping a running in my life, and to give my daughter exposure at age 8 is pretty amazing, and to have her to do her first race was pretty cool, and all of us to do it together to support her was awesome. So I appreciate you all being there and supporting her.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
She was super happy about it, and she still talks about it, and we'll get her back out there next year.
Yeah, she has her medal. She's representing.
She has her medal. She does.
That's right.
Hanging up in her room. Yeah,
That's right.
she is. She will still wear a T-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, I remember early on in our Peloton days, in our Peloton journey, both of us, you'd share photos of the girls, with their toy stationary bikes, with toys, their toy weights, they're working out with you. Something joy, man. Building those healthy rituals at an early age, man. Being role model for them. Like, oh, Daddy's doing it. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he's so having fun. He's doing it. So
he's doing it. And he's very methodical about it. And they see me the discipline that I have around it. It's like, no, I'm getting the workout in, and they know I'm getting up early, and I'm hitting it. I'm getting at it. I'm getting after it. I'm working. I'm either on the bike, I'm on the treadmill, I'm on the rower, I'm doing strength training, I'm stretching, and they're looking at that too. And like, man, I want to, model that behavior,
That's right.
and that's the best thing you can do is kind of, model positive behaviors for your children. You never know who's watching, and they're always watching you. Just to see me do it and have the discipline about it to get up every single morning, no matter what, and get that workout in is pretty cool for them. And I know that it's going to be with them for a while. So I need to work on them a little bit more, just starting to incorporate that more into their daily lives, at least getting a couple workouts in a week, but we'll get there. But
yeah, absolutely.
But I'm happy for L'Oreal to do her first 5K. That was amazing.
Yeah. That was amazing, man. It was amazing. As you know, brother, we are huge wellness advocates, movement enthusiasts, pushers of an active lifestyle, if you will.
Correct.
Shout out to the pushers.
Health as well, right? We always say health as well.
Health as well, man. Pusher click, early on in our Peloton journey, man. How did this wellness journey begin for you? How did that start?
Well, it has to go back to, playing baseball, and you're a baseball guy as well. Playing Little League as a kid. I always played sports, no matter what. I think I was, 4 years old when I picked up a glove and a baseball and a baseball bat playing baseball. And then that kind of moved into basketball. I didn't really get into running, and then strength training through like senior year of high school into college. I really got into strength training in college when I tried to play basketball in college, and just seeing how much bigger guys were. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I got to get in the weight room here. I'm getting pushed around. I don't like this. So really got into strength training probably my high school, senior year of high school, where really stepped it up between freshman and sophomore years of college, really hitting the gym and being very religious not religious, but very disciplined, methodical about it, getting the workouts in and having a program that I'm following to get stronger. So I wasn't getting pushed around, get stronger, faster, more stamina, more endurance. Wasn't into running. I really didn't get into running probably until I was older. I probably didn't get into running until like the mid 2000s, to be honest with you. So I'll give you a story behind that, man. I was in a sales job and I'm traveling all over the place. And I think this is around the financial crisis, honestly. And it was like, it's just a stressful time in finance. And I remember, you know, sitting outside like, man, what a day, what a week I had, just given everything that was going on. And I had cigarettes. Don't ask me why I had cigarettes, but I had cigarettes. So I pull out a cigarette, I light it, and I start smoking. I look, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't smoke. Like, this is crazy. People, like, this thing causes cancer. I've had too many people in my family who have been impacted by cigarettes. So I put it out, went and grabbed some running shoes or just some sneakers, and then it just went for a run. I don't know how far, I don't know how far I ran. I just ran and just got that whatever negative energy out and came back and was just like, man, that felt good, you know? And I guess I had to run as high, the endorphins kicked in, and then I just started picking it up from there. And just encouragement from other people and friends, like, do this race. Let's sign up for a 5K. Let's sign up for a 10K. And then I think I really ramped it up during B school, where a lot of my classmates were into running and just got into that with them. And we would run before class on the weekends that we were together, just running around, just like getting that energy out. So I really started to get into running then, and then started just signing up for races, and then it just kind of took off. So I guess almost 10 years later, yeah, I've been like running a lot of races and like that. But before then, I would play a lot of basketball and definitely was always doing strength training. Always hitting some weights, putting weights up. I don't lift as much now as I did then, just getting older and all at the time. So I like the cardio part of it better. And then got into Peloton. Peloton, after I graduated B school, I got a Peloton bike for my graduation gift. And that was it. I was hooked. I've still on that thing ever since. Riding that bike, man, and just saw the difference. And like, I was just shedding weight. And I think we were sitting at your house in DC, and everybody's like, whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing? I shed a lot. I didn't realize how much I shed. It was diet too, because I went on like a very strict diet at that time. So I just shed all of the fat that I had, and was in pretty good shape, probably the best shape of my life. And you guys are like, I was like, yeah, Peloton.
Yeah, you literally took out your ID. You literally took out your driver's license. And like, this is what it was at. This was me at my head. I was right here. I remember that, man, vividly.
Yep, yeah. And next thing I know, I'm sitting around the referral code, and then everybody's buying Pelotons. It was cool, man. So like, just having that impact, on my immediate community is pretty awesome to see. Like, everybody started buying Pelotons, and like, we're into it. We're trying to go to the studio. We got our people. We're shouting each other out for milestones. We're trying to ride together. We're getting up early to ride. Like, man, we still do it now, which is like totally awesome. And it just like that community just continues to grow, and we're finding ways to stay healthy and just really support Movement as Medicina, and weaving it into our fabric of who we are as individuals, and the importance of health, especially as we continue to age. And we have a lot of life happening to us, and just being healthy allows us to fight through and maintain and be strong through the challenges that we face on a daily basis. So always been in that to health since I was a kid, man. It just evolved over time into different facets. So now I'm really, as you know, I don't run as much now. I mean, I run, I'll do a race here and there, 5K, 10K, half marathon. Seems like I'm signing up for more half marathon though. But I'm really into golf now. So another kind of evolution of my health and wellness life is getting into golf, and golf is a great sport, and that's definitely taken a hold over me. And it's just great to be outside and be around, beautiful scenery around you. I don't pull out my phone. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just thinking about the next shot and how I'm gonna put the ball where I'm trying to put it. Doesn't always work out. Never really works out that way. I'm not good at golf, but I really enjoy the game. Um, and then the cool part about golf is, sometimes I play by myself or you always have a foursome and then I'll get paired with someone and I just meet the most interesting, people. And a lot of times they're older, right? So a lot of older people play golf, and you got 4 hours or 4.5 hours talking to a stranger that you never met, and you're encouraging one another, and they're just giving you their story. You're giving them your story, and you just have so much more in common than you realize. And you get a lot of life lessons from folks, older folks, particularly a lot of knowledge. I remember I was in Hawaii playing golf, and there was an older gentleman named Wally, Wally and Barbara out there playing golf. They were 80. Wally was 88 years old. Wally is running all over the golf course, getting his golf ball, helping his wife Barbara out. She didn't move as quickly as he does. And then we get to the last hole, and Wally's like, "Oh, I'm gonna tee off with you." So we're a little further back on the tee box. He outdrives me. This guy's so he's like, "I told you I'd outdrive you." He's talking trash the whole time. Like it was just, I'll never forget that experience of playing golf with Wally and Barbara. It was cool and just like just like a goal. Like I want to be 88 in Hawaii playing golf, like life goal. That's how.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there, man. You're gonna be out driving cats well before you're 80 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm out jobbing people now, but he got me. Wally got me. Yeah, he got me. I'm still a work in progress on my drives.
That's
But
all
he
right.
got me.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Brother, you've
Yeah.
heard me time and time again share how I'm on a journey of healing, and of course, have witnessed my wellness journey, my transformation, one that focuses on mental health and well-being. How do you prioritize your mental health in your day-to-day life? We often hear that, I don't prioritize my mental health with all the daily grind I'm in the midst of. How do you do it, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's still working out. I journal. I try to find ways to get energy out, like how I'm feeling. So I'll journal a lot, meditation, trying to be still. But yeah, I spend a lot of time just writing. I guess I never thought of myself as a writer, but I guess I really am a writer. And so I'll just journal, and I mean, it's no struck. It's just getting it out. I don't care what it looks like. It's just I'm feeling some way about something, whether it's good or bad, and I'm just using it on my phone because it's easier. I'm just crank it out, right? And just it's gone. It's done. I wrote about it. I'll come back to it later on and look to see how I'm feeling. So it's kind of keeping track of where I am and watching my progression as I've experienced life over the last few years. And that's been really helpful for like my mental state. And then just exercising has really been important. So like just getting a run and I can't stand being running is hard at times. And sometimes I don't want to do it, but I do it because I like how I feel after the fact. And it's necessary, another way for me to get energy out. I can't tell you the number of times I've just got on the treadmill and I'm running and I'll just start crying. It's just like I hear a song or I'll have a thought.
Yeah.
Either either getting out tears of joy, tears of sadness, or I'm coming up with a brilliant idea for my next book or something like that. So it's just I got a long road ahead of me, so I'm just getting that type of energy out. But those are ways that I work on my mental state just to kind of stay on the up and up and stay upright.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And you make time to prioritize that space for you, man. I mean, we hear so often in our community, even in our own village, if you will, that I don't have time to focus on my wellness, on fitness, or prayer, to attend to self, man. I mean, we hear that time and time again, man. But you're prioritizing it. You're making.
You have
How
to.
do you do it, man? How do you prioritize what is important in your life? Wellness, career, father, family. How do you do that, man?
I mean, you make time for what's important to you, honestly, and like fitness and being healthy is important to me. I can't do any other stuff. You know, in my mind, I can't be there for my children or for my job or for my friends, for my family if I'm not healthy, right? So it's a priority just for me to function. So I just prioritize it and, you know, I just get it done in the morning. Just a morning person. So I'll just get that workout, get it out of the way. I prioritize the time. I try to work out at the same time every day. And just consistency about it, being very disciplined and consistent and making sure that that workout gets done. And it's priority, just like eating and sleeping and, you know, drinking water. You just got to work out. I got to do some kind of cardio or some kind of strength training 6 days a week. Even on a day off, I'm like struggling, like, man, I should really be working out. And I'm just like, all right, nah, your body needs a break, you need to rest, just do some stretching or some yoga or something like that, or meditation, you know, just to get that type of energy out. But it's just important. You just have to prioritize it. I mean, like, we all got 24 hours in a day.
Right.
You just have to structure your day in a way that you get that workout in.
No, I appreciate that, man, because I mean, I think a lot of folks, you know, they just forget that there are 24 hours in a day, man. They're, you know, make excuses and, you know, whatever falls on, man. But, you know, prioritization is the key, man. Because if we're not our best selves, how are we going to attend to our families? How are we going to attend to our partner, our children, et cetera, man? So we have to attend to the self and you do those healthy things, man. So appreciate the perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say, Craig, that makes your spirit dance, man? What makes your spirit dance?
My children, for sure. I like to see my friends doing great things, right? Like, I love that you're doing this podcast. So when you told me about it, I was uber excited. But when you and Rosie went out on an entrepreneurial journey, I mean, I'll use you as an example. I was excited to see that. Or, you know, when you ran your first marathon, that was pretty cool. Or we ran our first marathon together.
We ran it together.
But I was there. I was there. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's just supporting my friends, my family, my children, but just seeing their successes just makes me really happy. I just love seeing other people excited to accomplish something, to achieve a goal, to take a chance, to take a risk and just see it pay off, right? Or just get out of the comfort zone. I think that podcast that I listened to you did recently, she was on you about getting out of your comfort zone, and here you are. You got out of your comfort zone, something that we sat around Starbucks 8 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was, and here you are. So I think that stuff makes me dance, and just the evolution of watching my children, you know, grow, and the questions that they start asking me, and, you know, seeing that personality come out, and it's just like, whoa, like, you're my creation. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, just things like that just get me really jazzed up. I just love seeing other people win and achieving goals. Really makes me excited. I mean, I like to win too, but I don't know. I just love seeing other people win.
Yeah, bro. Thank you, man. Absolutely. Could not agree more. Could not agree more, man. What words of wisdom do you have for our community, for people watching this conversation, man, that have not began their wellness journey? What would you like to tell them?
One step at a time. Don't try to, you know, knock out a marathon your first your first goal. Like, it's okay. You know, just start easy. When I remember everybody was grabbing bikes and wanting to, like, we got to ride, like, start with a 10-minute ride. Just get comfortable, get with the motion, make sure the seat is right. You know, start slow and then just build. It's about building in consistency, right? It's building the healthy habit. It's a process. It's a journey. It's a marathon. Like, don't try to knock it all out in one chunk. Like, start slow. 10 minutes, 3 days a week. Next week, 15 minutes, 3 days a week. Then 20 minutes, then 30. Then you're doing 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And then it becomes a habit. It's part of your life. It's part of your fabric. And then that's it. You're in it. It's part of who you are, and you make time for it. You prioritize it. And that's what happened to me. It's just like, it just became a priority. Like, all right, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to work out, and I'm going to ride. I'm going to do cardio or whatever. You know what? I go back to, I just thought about this. My roommate out of college, I never was a morning workout person. I was in the evenings after work because I play ball, lift weights, whatever. Everybody's there. It's like a good time. It's in my early 20s. But my college roommate, he would get up early and work out at like 5 a.m. And every morning he would put on Erica Badu and Dead Presidents Steady on the Grind and just blast it. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm getting up, man. I'm getting up. All right, I'm getting up. Come on. Let me get up. So Steady on the Grind is like the song that always stands out to me. And that turned me into a morning workout person. But we started slow. He was like, all right, one day a week, just come on, work out with me in the morning. I'm like, all right, all right, all right, all right. He like drive, he had coffee ready. He really encouraged me to do it. I just thought about that, man. So he got me into the morning workouts. And then that morning it went from like one day to like 2 days, and then 3 days, and then 4 days a week. I was going at like 5 a.m. to work out. And I haven't stopped since. And that's like early, it's gotta be like 2004, 2005. Yeah. Yeah. I just thought about that. And that was really influential, man. So I have not stopped doing morning workouts since then. So I've been doing over 20 years now, morning workouts. And then you read about like, people you aspire to be in certain roles like CEOs and, entrepreneurs, they're getting that morning workout in. And now that I have children too, like it's peaceful, it's quiet, not a lot of people around. You can knock it out, knock the workout out, a very focused, concentrated effort and without a lot of disturbances. And I think this is a tremendous value in that. Like you know, I like just being focused when I'm in my workout. So doing it early in the morning is what it is.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I like the feeling that one, I accomplished this first thing in the morning, to your point, but then the rest of the day is just, I mean, it's good energy the rest of my day. I had the, great run, great bike ride, good walk, or even a good strength training session, but my day, it feels fantastic because this is the way I started my day. Like if it was it was my me time. It was quiet. It was just me, in this space and my thoughts and my prayer and just in my element, in my own sanctuary, if you will, that I'm just setting the tone for the rest of my day, while doing,
Yeah.
I agree with
No, it's totally like you're setting, to your point, you're setting the tone for the rest of the day. Like you've already accomplished in the first, hour of the day, and like half the world hasn't even done. You got that workout in, whether it's a long run or a bike ride or some strength training or a row or something like that. Like like you've knocked that out, and that just sets you up for the rest of the day. Like you've already kind of accomplished something, and it's just like, yeah, I'm here to just knock stuff out. Like all right, what's the next thing we got to knock down? Let's knock it down. You know, that's really big for me, is like scratching off the list or checking off that checkbox, going on to the next thing.
right, man. And I really appreciate you really hitting the point of starting small. If you have not begun your journey of wellness, of fitness, of nutrition, or mental wellness for that matter, starting small. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate you hitting that point. But also the importance of community. I think that's what another piece that stood out to me. That your boy in college, I mean, he stood with you. I mean, he didn't say come every day. I'm gonna be at your door. Start once a week. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? But that that
Exactly.
communal piece around wellness is key, and I think, again, shout out to the push to click for us in our Peloton journey, but how that has, really branched off in our community doing their thing, whether it is still cycling, whether it is now running, whether it is strength training. We have cats, in our community who are doing yoga for the first time.
Exactly.
It was that communal piece that really like, hey, you're doing this? Let me give it a shot. Never
Let me try it. Mhm. Exactly right. And that kind of started with us. It was just like, oh, okay, let me try it. So you did a race, and then you got into walking, and then you started small. You started walking, and next thing you know, you're running, and now you're like running marathons, and like multiple marathons, right? Which is just, yeah, like who knew, right? Who knew it was going to get to that point? But you just kind of found your thing, man. And then the other thing is like, we're not only like traveling all over the East Coast, we're traveling all over, well, at least the hemisphere right now. going to these
Right on.
races, right? And he's just like, all right, yeah, let's go. Like, all right, let's get this trip together. Let's get this fellowship. Let's go support one another. We're all showing up to the races, whether we're running or not, and we're just cheering and we're just excited to just see you knock it down, man. And like, that's so cool. The support that you get from the community is huge. To just, you just do us proud. You make us proud. Like, when I start posting, I don't post as much on IG as I probably should to inspire others in terms of like working out and whatever. But every time I post, when people see me, they're like, two things they always ask me, like, when's your next race and when's your next book coming? And that's what people they just know me as that. Like, all right, like, I saw you had a race. Like, how was it? Like, they're like, man, I got to get out there too. Family, I see family every year. Like, man, all right, I'm gonna run. And then, like, they're sending me pictures. Like, I did this race, right? And
Man, fun, man.
yeah, you like, dude, you inspired me. I'm up. I'm just up running. Like, I'm up, and some people, they're quiet about it, but they'll send me a picture every now and again and just say, I ran, man. So between like the books and then the health and the running and the wellness, it's just so cool to see people just randomly like, yeah, man, I did a run today. It felt good. And he's just like, man, really? Like, yeah, man, I saw you did a race or your videos or your post or whatever. It's so cool. Like, I got into it too. Like, oh, well, if you could do it, I could do it too. Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all right. So get out there. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And to that point, man, shout out to the pit crews who come up, support and cheer. Carlos Rawls, man.
Oh yeah.
Our family, man, coming out and cheer. That's big.
It's a big deal, man.
It's a big
Even if they're
deal,
not,
man.
they're there with you in spirit, sending messages, pre and post race, shouting you out. I think, man, that's huge to have that support, man.
And like you said, man, you have no idea who you're influencing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have pretty significant networks, man. We have pretty, sizable communities that we care deeply about, both individually and collectively. But the reach that we have is, like you said, when people see you, they're talking about your books, your fitness and wellness, man, and sending you pictures of them running. Hey, this is what I signed up for. This is what I did. And it's amazing the impact, that you're having directly, man. I mean, what we're having, saying and what we
Yeah,
know.
right. Yeah, absolutely, man. I love to see it, man. I just love, like I said, like, it really warms my heart. Like you said, what makes me dance inside is just watching other people doing stuff for themselves and like knocking down goals or trying something, getting out of their comfort zone and saying I did it and being really proud about themselves and like especially my children, especially like they're struggling with something and then they finally get it. And it's just like, I try not to be too enthusiastic around it, but sometimes I can't help myself, but it's so cool to see. I just love people winning, man. That's all. I just want everybody to win and just be happy and find your sense of happiness and peace.
Amen, man. Amen, man. Could not agree more. Tell me, brother. I mean, this is our collective, man. I mean, I say that intentionally because you've been there since inception around Movement Es Medicina, since the early days of Push a Click and the Peloton tribe that we built, the community that we built around really living a healthy and active lifestyle, man. And now how that's really given birth to Movement Es Medicina. And you've been there since the inception and supporting and rocking and, definitely doing together. Doing it together. What comes to mind, man? What comes to mind when you hear and see Movement Es Medicina? I know we're rocking the gear and we have it out, man, but what comes to mind when you hear and see it?
Moving to Mendocino it's a feeling. It's so many, for me, it's so many things. It's community, it's encouragement, it's peace, it's love, it's joy, it's celebration. It's, yeah, I posted something on Facebook earlier today. I don't know if you saw it, but it was from a year ago. I was, just going through some tough times personally, and I don't remember exactly what I said. I was talking about, life's hard and you go through hard things, but at the end, you're gonna realize it's all worth it. I, but you'll have great moments, but but it's all worth it in the end. And I just said today, like, I'm not at the end. of my journey. Things are still hard. However, I have in the last year, I learned how to have more of an open mind and can recognize and appreciate the great moments along the way to the end. And that's moving is in that. And then I had hashtag Movement Es Medicina in there because that's it, right? We're on this journey. And along the journey, there's going to be ups and downs. It's just life. But you got to appreciate the great moments, right? And people who have great moments and recognize it and encourage them and support them, not only, and also with yourself. It's just like, let me take a step back. Man, this was not a, this was, I got a lot done. This is a great day. Maybe it's not doing, but just, it's just really stopping and recognizing a great moment that occurred and just appreciating the small things, right? And I definitely learned that in the last year. And I think that that's what Movement at Medicina is for me, is continuing to just move and recognizing the great moments and feeling the love and support from the community and celebrating and having joy and having peace and having a way to express ourselves, whether it's through conversations, through music. I mean, music is so important in our communities. We don't talk about that. We haven't talked about, touched on music, even in this whole, conversation we're having. I mean, music is huge. And I mean, we're sending music to each other, half the day. It's like, have you heard this? Have you heard? Like, no. Take some time to listen to it, right? And it like, I'm adding this to my run playlist, or, the amount of times we're up late at night and sitting around, or we're on, FaceTime or Zoom or something, or Teams, whatever, and we're sharing music, having discussions about, certain songs or artists and how we feel when we first heard a song or an album or something like that, man. And like that's all part of what this is, man. And I bought into it. I really have bought into it, because now, like, everything is just like, no, I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly staying upright. I'm constantly moving towards the, towards like a life of peace and joy and happiness, and, finding what happiness is and defining that and what that looks like. Because life's going to throw a lot of punches at you. You got to vibe with you and, stick and move and things like that. But
That's right.
it's just, but you got to keep moving. Got to
That's
keep
right. I
moving.
appreciate that, man. Absolutely, man. Got to keep moving, man. What do they say? I'm telling some, man. Forward is a pace, right?
Yeah, forward is a
man.
pace.
Keep moving, brother.
It's true. No matter how fast or slow you're going, you're just moving forward. Doesn't matter. I mean, that's what happens when you get into these races, right? And you're at like mile whatever, you're running let's say a half marathon, because it's the last one I did, but you're at mile 11, you're just like, whoo, I'm tired, my legs don't want to move no more. But it's just like, nah, I gotta knock this thing out, I gotta keep moving. So just keep, forward is a pace. Let's just keep moving forward towards that line, that finish line. So
That's right.
it's all about that, man.
That, brother. Appreciate that. Now, what's next for you, man? You are a 3-time author. You said you have more books on the horizon. You ran 5K, 10K, half marathon, the full marathon. You're now incorporating golf into your wellness routine. What's next for C. Rob Goes Hard, man? What's on the horizon for you?
Just be a great dad, be a great friend, be a great brother, support my family and friends in their endeavors, stay healthy, try to stay happy, continue to find peace and joy, right? Definitely write more books, create some kind of brand around running and golfing, and just those things that I really like and enjoy. Just continue to do good work for the folks that I work with. And yeah, I mean, just keep encouraging, supporting people, keep educating. Yeah, man, just trying to live life to the fullest, travel. I don't have any, I don't, I don't have any big, the books are big, like the running, the golfing is big, creating a community around that. Supporting Movement Es Medicina. Like, those are just big things. And I think that's the things that I want to put my energy into. So that's kind of next up. Just keep doing those things, man. Those are important to me. And I could see the value add that these endeavors that I'm involved with, whether exclusively or kind of peripheral, the value that it adds to people.
Right, man. That's right. Last question I have for you, bro. Last question I have is, what are you reading right now? And what actually book recommendations that we need to have in our life?
Yeah, I am reading The Pivot Year. Just started reading it on like it's a book of daily meditations, and blanking on the author's name because I just started it, but I picked it up from a friend who said, "Yeah, you should check this book out." It's just affirmations and daily meditations. I just kind of pick it up, read it, but it's called The Pivot Year. That's what I'm reading right now, and everything else is it's investment related. Honestly, because there's so much going on in the market. So I read a lot of white papers and things like that. But when I do have time to read for enjoyment, it's The Pivot Year that I pick up and try to read on a daily basis. Yeah, Pivot Year. I'll get you the author's name. Yeah, it's a woman. I can't think of her name right now. Sad.
All good. All good, bro. Pivot Year. Okay. All right, man. This next section, I want to ask a few lightning round questions. All right. Several questions. Don't think too much about it. Just first response. Okay. Just give it your first reaction. All right.
All right. Let's do it. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
All right. Favorite movie?
Boomerang.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Jazz or house music?
Both. Let's blend it. Hip hop.
All right. Taco or pizza?
Sorry, pizza. Pizza.
Peloton bike or Peloton rower?
Bike.
Bike. Okay.
Can't do more than 10 minutes on the road, man. 10 to 15 minutes, this is. I had enough. It's a good workout, but it's tough. Wait, Rebecca Kennedy all day.
But Justin, okay. Wine or bourbon?
Oh, man. I know more about bourbon than I do wine, but I do enjoy. Lately, I've been enjoying wine more than bourbon. That's my answer.
Farmingdale or Otis Redding?
Farmingdale.
All right. Favorite U.S. city?
New York.
All right. Last question. Reading or writing?
Writing.
All right.
I do like reading though, but writing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Brother,
That's
I
good.
appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. C-Rob goes hard. I'm grateful, man, for your time. Constantly inspired by you, your accountability, but also for motivating us, for being with us in the journey of not only Movement Es Medicina, but also our business adventures and just being in community with you, brother. It's always a privilege and a pleasure, man, to be in space with you, man, and just chop it up, man, about life, brother, and all the things that are going on with us, man. So I appreciate you, man. Where can the community, where can our viewers, where can the people find you? Where can they find your social media?
My books, you can go to nolan.com, pick those up. Please support the mission. I'm really excited about that. You can check me out when I do post stuff, but you can Running and Golfing. You can find me there on Instagram and Facebook. I think it's the same thing. And yeah, please support Movement Es Medicina. Please support our community, what we're doing. Be a part of it. I think it'll be beneficial to your life. Continue to follow SuperMarkRock on his journey, his mission, and his story. He's got a fantastic story. So yeah, I'm excited to be here and support you, brother. Thanks for having me on the potty. This is cool. Just having some good questions, and I'm excited to see where this goes, man.
Not too tough. I hope not too tough.
From a cocktail napkin at a Starbucks to doing the daggone thing. I love it.
There we are, man. I hit that record button, brother. I hit that record button, and we're doing it, man. So I appreciate your perspective, your insights, man. Again, and being in space and community with you. Again, mi gente, my people, recognize your dopeness. I believe that we are dope, educated individuals. Like my episode, like this episode with C-Rob Goes Hard. Ask questions, give us some feedback. follow me at SuperMarkRock on IG and also at movementsmedicina.com for updates and future podcasts. So, D-Rob goes hard. So that's my hermano.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Thanks for having me, bro. Excited for you. Dope.